Welcome back to Beyond Prompting. I'm Banana, and today we're talking about something every single one of you building agents at work needs to hear. Picture this. Your team builds an AI agent that actually works. Word gets around, and seemingly overnight, there are 20 more, built by people in finance, legal, HR, and support. Most of them are genuinely useful. And then one day, somebody gets a chatbot response showing customer data they should never have seen. Reality hits.
That is the exact moment when "we're an AI-forward company" stops being a slogan and becomes a liability. So what separates the organizations that survive that moment from the ones that don't?
According to CIO.com columnist Bernard Aceituno, co-founder of Stack AI, former AI research scientist at Meta, MIT trained, the answer has nothing to do with how confidently your coworkers use AI. The real test of enterprise AI readiness is governance and security. Global cross-cutting policy, privacy. And the data says most of us are underprepared. A survey from Databricks and The Economist found that 40% of respondents believed their organization's AI governance program is insufficient. And Microsoft's Data Security Index reports only 47% of organizations are implementing specific GenAI security controls, less than half.
So the enthusiasm is real, but the guardrails aren't. That's a dangerous combination, because the questions always bubble up about a month after the agent ship. Who's allowed to publish an agent to the rest of the company? How do we track versions, and can we roll one back? Can we require SSO on every agent? What data does this thing have access to, and does it respect the permissions on those documents? Where do the logs live, and how quickly can we see them?
And that's exactly where Aceituno's framework comes in. He thinks of enterprise AI governance as a set of layers, 8 of them, where each layer answers one of those questions. You can build them incrementally, but ideally all 8 are in place before you have more agents than you can list off from memory. And here's the kicker. None of these are new inventions. They're the same controls you already apply to internal software. Most organizations just haven't extended them to AI that both talks to customers and writes to the CRM.
That's the piece people miss, isn't it? The governance technology already exists. Version control, single sign-on, permission systems, audit logs. The gap is that we treat agents like magic instead of like software.
Exactly. And the layers map one-to-one onto those controls. One layer decides who's even allowed to publish an agent to the rest of the company. Another tracks versions and makes rollback a one-click reality instead of a fire drill. Another forces SSO on every agent, so a departed employee can't leave a ghost agent running with their credentials. Another makes sure every read the agent performs runs under the document's own permissions, no backdoors. And another answers the scary one: where do the logs live, and how long do we keep them?
So each layer is a question turned into a control, which means the framework is also a checklist. If you can't name which layer handles publishing, rollback, SSO, permissions, and logs, you're missing one.
Right. And Aceituno says governance is only half the readiness story. The other half is deployment. Whatever platform you choose, there are 4 realistic postures, and understanding the trade-offs is what separates a deliberate CIO from a regretful one. First, multi-tenant, available almost immediately, updates itself continuously. Second, dedicated, takes a couple of weeks to stand up, updates on the vendor's schedule. Third, bring your own cloud. 2 to 4 weeks, and it splits responsibility. The vendor manages the application through a scoped cross-account role, while your team owns networking and IAM. And fourth, on-premise, a month or more, and after that, your team applies every single release itself.
So it's a classic speed versus control spectrum. The question is where most organizations should actually land.
And his honest read is refreshingly practical. Most organizations are well served by multi-tenant, and choosing it doesn't compromise security or privacy. Bring your own cloud and on-premise makes sense when you have a data sovereignty requirement and a mature internal platform team, but they bring manual updates and slower time to value. No right or wrong answer, just trade-offs that CIOs need to understand before they pick.
So if I'm a leader listening right now, how do I know if my organization is actually ready? What's the test?
He gives us a great self-diagnostic. Pick your 3 highest privilege AI agents or workflows in production and try to answer 6 questions. Who owns each one, by name? What changed in it most recently, and who approved that change? Which connectors and knowledge bases can it reach, and whose permissions do those reads run under? Does accessing it require SSO? Where are its logs, and how long are they retained? And what happens to it if the model version it depends on is deprecated next quarter?
And if the honest answer to most of those is "I'd have to ask around," you're not ready to scale.
Right, and his message is reassuring. That's fine. All it means is that you have a week of policy work ahead, but you'll thank yourself later for figuring the tough stuff out first, before the agents outnumber the answers.
3 takeaways from today. 1. Enterprise AI readiness is a governance problem, not a prompt engineering problem. 40% of organizations already admit their governance is insufficient. 2. The 8 layers are just your existing software controls extended to AI. Versioning, SSO, permissions, logs. Build them before you have more agents than you can count. 3. Run the self-diagnostic on your 3 highest privilege agents, and if the answer is "I'd have to ask around," spend the week on policy now, while it's still a week of work.
And if you're building agents at work right now, ask yourself this. If my agent disappeared tomorrow, could I tell you everything it touched? If you can't, that's today's homework. I'm Banana.
And I'm Orange. Drop a comment and tell us which of the 6 diagnostic questions stumped your team.
Excitedly, subscribe for daily research deep dives, new episodes every morning at 7 a.m. Central. And tomorrow, we dig into the research breakthroughs pushing Agentic AI forward.
May your agents stay governed.
See you tomorrow.